What's up, people? Welcome to my car. Today we are in my car. It is all good. No, me and my significant other just got back from a really nice vacation, actually. I met a lot of really amazing people that touched my heart in so many different ways. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. I was losing faith in humanity up until I met these people. Like, I'm not gonna lie. They are all very generous, very amazing, very beautiful souls. I am so grateful that I got a chance to meet them. They're actually my significant other's Navy buddies that they were in the Navy with. So we got to visit with them and have a really great time. If you're on my Facebook, you will see the pictures. This video gets posted to YouTube and Facebook and a couple of other places. But anyway, guys, check out my Facebook if you haven't already. I got a lot of vacation photos. I had a really great time, by the way. Thank you, babe. I know you watch these videos religiously because you're awesome and you always support me, and that is something I truly appreciate. But what I'm going to get into today, guys, is something a little different. This season in our lives, honestly, to me, feels like a chapter or a book is being slammed shut. Like, I'm seeing a book being slammed closed. I mean, it's cut. It's like, that's it. Something could have ended, and it just is this huge transition in your life. This is a new chapter. Something old has passed on, okay? And I say this because for those of you that know, about my dad. And Dad, if you're up there, I know you're listening to me, or you might be in this car with me. I don't know. You've been around me a lot lately. I'm not gonna lie. I truly feel this blanket of love when it comes to my dad, y'all. I really do. He passed on August 20th. I was actually in New Orleans with my significant other. When I found out about his passing, that very day I walked outside, there was a bird sitting on the passenger side of my significant other's vehicle, and it was right there over the door where I was about to get in. And I had to laugh, and I said, this is crazy. I said, that's my dad. I said, he sent me that. If that's not him, I don't know what is, okay? He and I always had this thing about birds. And speaking of birds, I have a little something here. I kid you not, y'all. This is a jar of feathers. I have been finding feathers, and I've been finding feathers for a while, actually, leading up to his passing. This is actually, I don't know what this is, y'all. If y'all know what this is, comment below, because I think this is some sort of hawk or something. That's what it looks like. But I found this in one of my clients' yards at my job, which my dad also used to do the job that I do now, so it's kind of funny. But I found this feather in my client's yard, y'all. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And about 2 weeks prior to his crossing over to the spirit realm, I've been finding feathers. Yes, here's a white one. There's a jar of feathers here. And this morning, actually, I went on a walk. I remember thinking, man, I haven't found my feather yet, right? Because I got all the way around where I normally walk. And I come back and I was like, man, I didn't find my feather today. Because every day, y'all, I've been finding a feather. Every day. And right when I turned in the driveway to go inside, there was one in the driveway, like, or boom, like right in front of me. Wasn't there before. I think this is pretty neat. You can think what you want. I don't care, y'all. I mean, look, for those of you that know, you know about the spirit realm and you know about feathers. The day that he passed, I didn't see this at all, but my significant other pointed this out. There was a feather on the hood of my car. I literally feel this blanket of love, this blanket surrounding me. And some of you could feel the same way. Maybe you've lost a loved one recently. And look, I don't know how I'm holding it together today. I really don't. Look, Dad, save me a first aid kit in the safe room for me. Okay, look, we've been playing this game with the zombies up until he couldn't anymore. For those of you that know, you know that he was battling a really bad liver cancer for a while. And he did a plethora of treatments. Didn't quite do anything but make things worse, honestly, in my opinion. I'm not going to argue with people with medical degrees, but we all know chemo is a poison, right? I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there. It's a poison. But when he got off of all that and started a holistic treatment, he was so much better. And it gave him a better quality of life. No, it did not cure him. He was already in liver failure, stage 4, when he started chemo. And the doctors were basically like, oh, you're going to die like in like 6 weeks or some crazy crap, right? You know, we've all been there where we've been told that a loved one only has a certain amount of time. But the funny thing is, doctors don't know. You don't know. The person themselves probably don't know up until that last point where they start seeing their loved ones that have already crossed over. Look, y'all, I truly believe in the spirit realm. I have always believed in the spirit realm. I have had several experiences when I was a child with the spirit realm. And that's a whole separate video, y'all. That's a whole separate video. My vacation experiences and my ghostly experiences, that is a separate video. This video is basically me talking about an experience that I've had with, you know, a passing of a close loved one. I was very close with my dad, very close. And how I'm holding it all together today, I don't know. I guess it's because I know that energy never dies, it only changes form. And he's still with me because I still feel him with me, like, all the time. My grandmother, I feel her with me when I'm walking through a field of flowers. And just in nature, I feel her with me because that is who she was. She was all about nature and flowers and grounding. And I mean, my grandmother was beautiful. I really wished that I could have gotten to know her a lot more than what I did. She passed when I was fairly young. And my grandfather passed before her, probably when I was like 10. But they were beautiful people. My grandfather was actually someone who was very in tune with nature. He was very in tune with the spiritual realm. I don't know what he did, y'all. Look, he treated warts, and it was some weird thing where he was like, all right, you only come on a full moon, and I'm going to take you around back, and I'm going to make these carvings in your skin. And look, you can call it what it is, but it worked, okay? From what I was told, we are all part Native American. And yeah, I'm going to sit up here today and tell you I'm part Native American. My great-great-grandmother was full blood. I have a picture of her, and yes, when you see the picture, she is full blood. There's no denying that. She is Native American. I do have that in my blood, and I was told I have that on both sides of my family. So all my life, I've always had these experiences. Some of you right now, I do feel this period of grief. And like I said, I do see this book. I mean, I see something being slammed shut, y'all. I'm talking slammed shut. Not in a mean way, not in a rude way, but in a, okay, it's time. It's time to move. It's time to make a different choice. It's time to figure out who you are, what you want out of this life, because something is driving you to make yourself better. Something was stagnant. Something was a burden on you. And no, I'm not calling anybody's loved one a burden, okay? When my dad was very sick, he wasn't a burden. It wasn't him that was a burden. It was the situation. Everyone was worried about him. Everyone was always over at my parents' house. Everyone was, oh my God, like, what's going to happen? Let's pray. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it took up a lot of time, and it took up a lot of energy. But when he crossed over to the spirit realm, we all felt this sense of, okay, he's okay now, right? And if you've ever lost someone, you know what I'm talking about. You know that their suffering has ended. And when you can look at it from that point of view, it doesn't bother you as much. No, I'm not able to physically hug them in the physical realm, but he's able to hug me in the spiritual realm, and that is beautiful. Tears are water. Water holds information. If you want some literature on it, I would look up the hidden messages in water. There was a guy, my brain is all over the place today, y'all. Forgive my ADHD. Look, I go with it. I enjoy it. I embrace it. I cannot think of this dude's name. I think it's something Emoto. You know what I'm talking about. Some of you are like, oh yeah, I know this guy. Look, he did this messages in water thing where he put different messages in water and it froze a certain way. Put different music to different water and it froze a certain way. Some of it made beautiful snowflakes. Some of it made, I don't know what the hell it was, okay? It was some kind of crazy patterns. Depending on the music, depending on the mood, depending on the words that were being spoken at the time, right? Tears are water. Water holds information. When you cry, that is a release of memory. That is a release of some sort of information that is just longing to be released, longing to escape, longing to get out of your body. Too many people have been brought up to think that crying is weak. Crying is not weak. Crying is natural. Is my life extremely different without my dad? Hell yeah. It is. But I also tell myself, if I could bring him back, I really wouldn't. This life is heavy. It's very heavy down here. All of our bodies, at some point in time, have suffered or are suffering with some sort of ailment. It's heavy down here, y'all. Look, I don't want to be down here. When I go, like, just let me go. Bye. See you. Have a good one. Okay. That's kind of how my dad was. He was ready to go. He made up his mind. You know what? I'm clinging on because I want you and your mom to be okay. But at the end of the day, I have to go. Every day that you wake up and you go to your job that you hate so much, and you come back to your house that you might be stressed out about, and you drive a car or a truck that you're still paying on, and you tell yourself, like, God, like, when does it end, right? When you realize everything in this life is nothing more than an experience. My parents, my parental units, if you will, they were given to me for this life. And they're going to be in my life until they're no longer needed in my life. That is the way that I view this. That is the way my father viewed it. He was here for a season, and now he's crossed over into the spirit realm. And yes, he still is here. I do feel him here, okay? I feel a blanket, and I describe it as a blanket because it makes me feel warm inside. It makes me feel good. A blanket of love. We have ancestors that have passed on. We have people on the other side that are looking out for us. They are still with us, y'all. I don't know. Look, some of y'all might not believe in this, but I surely do. Whatever this chapter is that has been slammed shut for you, I know it hurts. And you're going to grieve. And grief never really goes away. It always sticks with you. You always have that little hole in your heart that a person once filled. And I've already grieved that version of my dad that was my dad, because for the last 2 years, he was very sick. And he had a few months where he was doing really well. And you all know probably what they say about people that are on their way out. They will have this sudden, I don't know, it's like they're okay, just for a little while. Like they're back to normal. My grandmother did it too. A lot of you might know what I'm talking about. Do I miss him? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I do. Every day. In the physical realm. But I know he's with me in the spiritual realm, because a lot of us oscillate between the physical and the spiritual. If you are in tune with the spiritual realm, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, well, I mean, maybe one day you will be. But whatever this chapter is that is closing for you and being slammed shut, don't question it. It's supposed to happen. And a lot of times we go through these really tough things in life, and we're going through it and we're looking around and you're like, oh my God, like why me? Why do I have to suffer like this? And look, I've done a lot of suffering in the past 2 years. A lot of suffering. My own suffering with my own physical pain that I used to have before surgery, and my suffering watching my hero, the strongest person I knew in my life, turn into this weak, vulnerable shell of a person that I once knew. Some of you right now are dealing with something along those lines, where you are watching a person become a shell of who they once were. And I've already grieved that version of my dad. My dad has been gone a long time ago. His capsule just now gave up its ghost, if you want to call it. But he's been gone a long time ago. And that might sound harsh to some, but honestly, it is what it is. I can't sugarcoat it, because it is what it is. We are all spiritual beings having a temporary now, human experience. This is a transitional period for a lot of you. This is something where a chapter has been slammed shut. There's some abrupt ending for some of you, some devastating ending for some of you, some long drawn out ending for some of you, something that you've been knowing needed to end, but you kept making excuses for it for some of you. It's finally coming to a head. This whole season in life feels like this huge change, this new something that you've never experienced before, something so different that should be exciting if only you viewed it from spiritual eyes. But a lot of you are viewing things from the human, and the human grieves, the human refuses to let go. I want you to embrace this new chapter. I know my dad would not want me to sit around and cry and suffer and be like, oh, but he's gone. Because he's not really gone. He's not. He's with me. He and I are very connected. And that brings me peace. Take comfort in knowing that everything happens for your highest good. I want you to believe that. No matter what is going on in your life right now, I want you to believe that it is happening for a purpose. Something to bring you to a better place. Something to lead you to an answer. That stuff's real, y'all. I truly believe that because I have lived this. I didn't spend 37 years on this planet not to learn anything, okay? I've been through a lot. I feel like I lived the life of a 90-something-year-old by now, okay? Because I've been through a lot. And I'm still here. Sometimes I don't know how I'm still here, but I am. And if you love me, I love you too. All right, look, just gonna throw it out there. But I do love you all, and I hope you all have an amazing rest of the week, and I hope to catch you on later videos.